Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's getting colder, but that's November, so normally that's this kind of weather that we have here in Poland. Today I have the main topic of this video is what you will see in the title, which is Putin is ready to talk to Trump. And it's very interesting what President Putin has just said at Valdai Discussion Club, that is a club that was established in 2004, and it was named after Lake Valdai, which is located close to the Wielki Nowogród city. So what I've done, since you usually have those short clips on YouTube that kind of takes out of the context what the person says, I decided to go and watch pretty much the entire conference, the speech, the Q&A that President Putin had with the audience. And I will be reading you this part in which he was addressing Trump and sharing his opinion about Trump and what to expect and his response to having conversations with the United States. So let me read you this first and then I give you my comment. We see if some of you will agree with what I will say. So the question is about the future president. So he was addressing George W. Bush and his father, but the person next to him asked him about the future president, which means Donald Trump, and Putin says, well, you can have any attitude towards him because during his first iteration as president he was doubt, as most of them were doubting him, as he was a businessman, then was not very well versed in politics. He can make a lot of mistakes, but from the outset I can tell you his behavior when there was an attempt on his life, I was impressed. He is a courageous person, and it is not just about the hand he raised and his call to fight for their common values and ideas. Of course, there was a rush of adrenaline, but a person shows their true color in these emergencies. And this is precisely one of those cases, and I think he presented himself admirably, sorry if I mispronounced, in a valiant fashion as a man. As far as politics is concerned, I don't know, during his first presidency, I don't know whether he's going to hear that, but I'm gonna say that regardless, I think he was harassed by everyone and all sides and bullied. He was afraid of making the step to the left and to the right, saying wrong thing. I don't know what's gonna happen right now during his new presidency, because this is going to be his last presidency. Whether he does it, it's up to him. Whatever he does, it's up to him to decide. But what he has been saying publicly up until now, I would love to comment on what was said during the electoral campaign, because that was a deliberate thing to fight for votes. So before I continue, Trump was saying to the audience during his rallies very often, or in many of his interviews, that he was talking to Putin, and he said those things as, Vladimir, don't even think about it, going to Ukraine, which I have my opinion about it. Maybe I share in a second, maybe I don't. But that was to convince the voters, the audience, to vote for him. So Putin is addressing this, what was said during the electoral campaign, because that was a deliberate thing to fight for votes. But regardless what he said about his desire to rebuild relations with Russia, to facilitate an end to the Ukrainian crisis, I think this deserves attention, at the very least. And I would like to take this opportunity to offer my congratulations on his election as President of the United States. As I said before, we are going to work with any head of state that is going to garner the trust of the American people And this is what's going to happen with the trust and practice. And if he does what he has been promising, you know, before the inauguration, if he makes a phone call, if he says, Vladimir, let's meet, I don't think it would be beneath me to call him myself. I am simply not doing that because, you know, at a certain point, the European Western leaders were calling me almost every week, and then they stopped all of a sudden. And you see, we are still healthy, very well, we are developing. If anyone among them wants to rebuild contacts, as I said, we have nothing against that. We are always open. We will rebuild these contacts and have a sincere discussion. But so far, many people who want to engage in a discussion, they are here in this room. So we are willing to talk to Trump. Yes, we are. So those are the words from President Putin himself. The translator was a little bit off there, so I had to listen to the translator, then I had to look to the translation, you know, that you set up automatically, which was off. So I wasn't that perfect in that. But my thoughts on this are here like that. So we're going to see a lot of changes, as I said in the video I put out 2 days ago when he was declared as a winner, Trump. I don't know if many of you remember, there was a moment when Trump met with Putin, I think it was in Norway if I'm not mistaken, and there was a press conference. And during this press conference, Putin stood next to Trump, and there was a very symbolic moment. Putin gave Trump the ball, the soccer ball, and he said, now the ball is in your court. And I just want to share with you how I understand it now. This is my opinion, and I have to say, I know some of you don't agree with this, and I respect this, but you also have to respect my opinion, because this is my opinion, and I'm not going to change it just because there are some viewers who don't like me thinking like this. If we are talking about being a critical thinker, having my own opinion, freedom of speech, then you have to, as I accept yours, you have to accept mine. What I think about that, I think this. For a very, very long time, Russia was, I don't know if it was the only country, I would say after Yeltsin, since Putin took over, it was the country that was fighting with the deep state. That is an international deep state. It's not just in the United States. Those are the evil forces connected all over the place. Yes, EU, Europe, everywhere. Africa, Asia, everywhere. And then Trump shows up. Many of you still don't believe that Trump is on the good side. I believe he's on the good side. And Putin said, the ball is in your court. That was a very symbolic moment. That's how I read it. Because now there was another side of this that was going to destroy the deep state from the West. And I know there are many things that might be presented to us as if he is playing on both sides. I don't think he is at all. I think we needed those 3.5 years, or almost 4 years. Unfortunately, the public was not ready to see through many illusions, and they still needed to go through the pain and suffering, unfortunately. And I think actually that was the way it's supposed to be. Putin's supposed to go into Ukraine and take care of the Nazi regime with his own hands. That's how I see it. It's my opinion, you don't have to share it. So a lot of things are going on behind the scenes, many of which we will never know, but we will see how this will go. And here is another thing. So yesterday I recorded a video in which I was telling you about Donald Tusk, our new/old Prime Minister, who in 2023, so just a year ago, was saying how the American Secret Service, or the agencies, were able to prove how Trump is related to Kremlin and Moscow, and he was put into position and, you know, collaborating with Russia for over 30 years or something. And yesterday there was a press conference during which one of the journalists actually asked him about that statement that he made, that I referred to in my yesterday's video, and he said that he never said those words. So I don't know if his team was actually too late and was not able to show him that video. He forgot. It was very, very unpleasant to watch him, how he was lying and how he was trying to get out of those words and that situation, and it was just very uncomfortable to see. But you know, I think many world leaders now, we will see going through those very uncomfortable, shameful, zero backbone appearances, because they are cowards, you know. They cannot even admit, yes, I said it, I was wrong, or just, you know, own it, be a man. No, I never said it. And then boom, there comes the video just from a year ago where he clearly said what he said. And actually he said one more thing about Trump that was about his relations with women and compromising situations, things of that nature. So, you know, I don't know if one wants to sue, and United States is really good with suing people for things. This would be a good lawsuit. I don't think anyone is gonna do it. But I came across a video. This is what Trump said also a year ago. And I think this is a very important to read this to you, because what he said, and if he will deliver it, and I believe he will deliver this for sure, this part for sure, is going to change the reality not only in the United States, but also in the countries that have implemented that absolutely sick approach to changing the sex of very small children, but very small children who are not even able to make their own mind. They are too little. So let me read you this. Trump said this when he was still campaigning in a video. I will attach this video in the description box. He said, "Here is my plan to stop the chemical, physical and emotional mutilation," I think that's how you say it, "of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care, ridiculous process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transitions at any age." Can you believe this, guys? At any age? How sick, demonic, satanic, evil, reptilian is this? It's sick. "I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. So this will be also California. And you know what's going on in California. This is one of the most demonic in this subject states. All those celebrities, who so many of them, I think that's how they worship, is one of those rules. They have to sacrifice at least one of their children and change the gender of the child. So look how many of those people have done it. "It will go very quickly," he says. "I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they can be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination. So how important is this? Let me tell you, very important. There are so many countries that operate on this. This came from United States, right? Those laws. And you know, in Poland it's not as drastic as it's in US, but this was the direction it was going. So this is very, very important. If this takes place, it's going to change not just the situation in the United States. And I really feel for all those people who went through this and those parents who had those children brainwashed at schools. And I mean, they went through the procedures. I don't even know how they allowed those children to do it. It's just, I cannot wrap my mind around it. It's just purely demonic to me. But this will be also the effect of it, if he signs it, and I believe he will, it will go into other countries. And I would like to know your thoughts, so please leave in the comments down below, what do you think? It's very important, and we will end this video with one comment from one of the members of my channel, and I have to say that I am very aware of it, how many times YouTube deletes the comments, they are not showing up. Many of you are letting me know, but for some reason I've noticed that the members of my channel, I always see their comments, so maybe that's a good thing to become a member. I'm not trying to sell you on this, however, it does help me. I appreciate this, but I'm glad that I see the comments from the members. Very good comment. It's from Robert Coulter, I think that's the right way to say your name, who says truth will be revealed. I believe truth will be revealed. We are just in the beginning of it. It will be interesting to see how those leaders in EU will go down. I think that NATO will no longer exist, and I think European Union will also no longer exist. It will be, I don't think it will exist. It will be transformed into something, or it will just dissolve itself. There are talks about that now, when perhaps Trump will withdraw from NATO or something of that nature. EU has to build their own army. It's not going to be successful, in my opinion. It's going to come to the end. All those organizations, WEF, WHO, is just the beginning. And I think the role of Robert Kennedy with this project, with those sex genders, Big Pharma, it's a big battle, very powerful forces they are going to face, but they're gonna win this. It won't be easy, but they're gonna win this. So guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, for hitting this like, for subscribing to my channel, sharing the videos, leaving the comments. I read them all. If they disappear, then what can I do? Thank you for becoming a member, supporting my channel, and for supporting me on Locals and Patreon as well. It really helps me a lot. Yesterday I had a live stream with Larry Johnson. If you're interested, make sure to check it out. Go on the main page of my channel under the live category, you'll find it there. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you might follow me there as well. Thank you so much for your donations on PayPal. I appreciate it. Buying me a coffee as well. And that's it. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. See you in another video. Bye everyone.